All right, we're gonna try this on Facebook because I was really bummed. I had everything all set up for Zoom, and then like Zoom and Facebook were not cooperating. So hello, I'm glad you're here. There were like 78 people or something like that over on the Zoom, and now they all had to come on Facebook. So that's just too bad because it's also like really clunky to share your screen on Facebook. So if I can't use Zoom, I'm not going to be able to share my screen. But I will look at the resources and walk you through them. So let's just get started. Okay, but first, I just want you guys to say hey, and just tell me like, okay, sometimes, all right, so this is going to be like the theme of the weekend, all right, you guys? So like sometimes when we have constraints, hey Ryan, you are so sweet. I like almost cried when I got that Venmo. Like everything's making me cry these days, so it's not you, it's me. But Ryan, I hope you're doing better. Oh my gosh, Ryan's been really sick. Okay, so at first I think we should all say hey. I have been like scrambling so much. I'm like, my brain is getting fried, but I'm not going to let it get fried because I don't want to waste you guys' time. Like none of us has any time right now. It's insane. It's like, here we are sitting at home and we're all out of time. It's weird. It's like, usually we don't have any time. And now that all we're doing, and we're never home. I'm never home. And now like all I'm doing is sitting at home and I have no time because I'm like rebuilding my entire life and like my entire work, like from the ground up, it feels like. And I'm sure that everybody else feels the same way. So I think you should just all take a deep breath. Or 3. And my therapist tells me that the way to like calm, she's like a mind body therapist. She's great, except I haven't seen her in like 2 weeks. I could use a visit to her. But my therapist tells me that when you breathe in, and also my pal Justin Slocum Bailey has told me this too, but I'm not gonna have time to look at your comments. I'm sorry, but you guys can have a nice chat. When you breathe in and then you breathe out longer than you breathed in, you actually relax more. So I want you guys to, this is what all my meditation tapes and everything say. So if you could just breathe in while I count to 5 and then breathe out while I count to 6. Okay, I'm going to do it twice with you guys, but I can't breathe because I have to count. Okay, you're going to breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I hope you guys all did that. I personally felt the energy shift on this Facebook Live. So let's just get down to it. So the theme of this entire like weekend and like the entire message that I want to get across to you guys is that like always the simplest solution is best. So like always the simplest solution is best. I have been watching CI for like a long time. Like 14 or 15 years or something like that. And as it's like grown and there's been like so many more like voices out there, it's great that there's all these voices out there, and it's great that there's like, it's raining resources right now, but that's not what we need. That's not what we need normally. And I've been working really hard for the last couple of years to just try like in normal life to get us calming down and like get systems in place. And the people that have listened to me are like head and shoulders ahead of the people who like are just like, whatever, that Tina, she's always talking about this framework and these systems and stuff. Like when we had when the shift like started to happen and people were putting their classes online, I got like 5 messages. I mean, not like a ton, but I'm sure they're, they say like when you go to a protest, like every person there represents like 10 people who couldn't make it or don't want to come. So I'm assuming there's more of you guys out there who are like, oh, I'm glad I have this framework or this system, because like having that in my normal classes helped me transition over to online teaching. Like if you're starting with a framework in mind, or you're starting with a simple system that's very like flexible and you can do lots of things with it, if you're starting with that in mind, then whatever you want to do now, you're starting from like square one, not square like -10, where you're like, oh my gosh, like every day I'm just going to be scrambling all the time. And like when this first started happening, I'm not the type of person who's just going to like jump in and be like, here's all my things, because I didn't design my things for online teaching. So I've been like sad, actually. I'm sad a lot about like CI. I mean, I'm really sad about like the level of overwhelm that people feel like in general. And then like this just hit us like a ton of bricks, and we were already like a lot of us like at our breaking point. We were already overwhelmed. So the watchword of the weekend is like simple. So if you are used to thinking about your class like in school as like really stressful, stressing you out, you don't know what you're doing every day, it's like a 3-ring circus, like it's like a bag of tricks and then like another bag of tricks and then like a bag of Cheetos and then like a bag of like, sour gummy bears, and then like who knows what you're gonna do tomorrow. Like if you're already in that mode, this is gonna hit you like a freaking freight train, okay? And like you don't need that. You need that like a hole in the head right now. You need that like a hole in the head in general. So like a lot of us were already like strained to our breaking points, and then this hit. And now we're like just like totally adrift. And we're like, okay, I'll use this resource and then I'll use that resource. And so I've been watching. I mean, it's great. All these wonderful people are giving us like wonderful resources, but like it's kind of the same thing that always happens like in real life. You have so many options. Like when I first started CI, like Senor Woolley didn't exist. Martina Bex didn't exist. Like nobody, like it was Blaine. And there was like no IFLT. It was just ENTPRS. I never even went to NTPRS. All I had was like, look, I can talk. And I like went to a Blaine Ray training once, and then I like muddled through it. So I didn't have a lot of options. If I had to transition my French class online back in like 2007, I would have just been like, look, I can talk story 7. We were on story 6, so it's time for story 7. Like I wouldn't have had to think. And so but it's not a bad thing that we have all these like wonderful people like sharing all these really creative ideas. That is not bad. Like it's great. We have a really creative community. But what we're really lacking, and what I noticed that we were lacking when I started putting the pieces together. At first I didn't notice. I was like, TPRS, I love stories, wow. And I didn't really notice, but like when I started teaching language full time, I think is when I really started to like miss the structure of a framework. And not only that, but like the teachers college like community. I was just talking to Caitlin yesterday because most of what I'm sharing with you guys actually like came from Caitlin, because I was like, I better buckle down and like figure out a framework for these people. I better figure out how to like take this framework and like make it work online, and I've never done that. Next week I'm going to start teaching French classes online. It's going to be like 45 minutes of French and then 45 minutes of like talking about what I did, and I'm going to be using the same resources that I'm making for you guys right now. So I'm planning my lessons and I'm planning your lessons with you. But like, it is not time right now to like be creative. And honestly, it's like never time to be creative in certain things. Like, of course, creativity is great, but with constraints, actually your creativity will blossom. And like right now is probably not the time where you're like, I want to let my creativity blossom. You like want to sanitize the packages that you ordered off of Amazon, so that you can eat your golden raisins when what you really wanted was like peaches in a can. That's a true story. Yesterday I thought when we were kind of running low on fruit, my husband's at the store. Maybe he just came back. I don't know. And I was like, please don't go to the store. I was like crying about it. I'm like, don't go to the store. Don't go to the store. Like, I can't get sick right now. I have so much to do. But he had to go because like they were out of peaches. We can't get constipated. That would just be terrible. We're big fruit eaters. How do you think I still get carded whenever I like buy alcohol? But I quit drinking. But it's because of all the fruit. I can't start getting wrinkly right now. This is not the time to get wrinkly. And it's also just like not the time for us to be like spinning our wheels and reinventing ourselves like as a teacher. I mean, we have to reinvent ourselves, but like let's let the buck stop where it needs to stop. So like what I'm asking you to do with me this weekend is like all I'm going to be doing. I was like, honey, you can go to the store, but like I'm not going to see you till like 7:30 tonight. Like have fun and go with God, okay? Because like that store sounds scary to me, but all I'm going to do is like work with you guys to get your lessons planned. So even if you're like, I have this idea, I have this other idea, but it's stressing you out to think about implementing them in like whatever way you're supposed to be implementing with a packet or with synchronous classes, like on, you know, in person, live, online, or asynchronous classes, like no matter what you're planning, if you feel like it's stressing you out, you could probably go back to like square zero and like rebuild it from the ground up, and it's not going to take you that long. So what I was talking to Caitlin about yesterday, like with Teachers College, was because like I said, like pretty much I started thinking what I'm sharing with you guys is like all from Caitlin. So I was like, okay, Caitlin. I mean, I said I'm not the type to like just jump in. Like I don't want you guys to listen to what I say, and then I'm like, oh wait, that was like really stupid. Like that was a panic, you know, response. You know, like I was like, okay, I'm just gonna let everybody keep panicking while I figure out what I need to say. And so I've been doing all these webinars, and I've been like trying out these things. Like originally, I just thought the webinars were gonna be like fun for people that have like a bunch of time on their hands. I was like, well, they can start learning like this framework and these structures, and like, you know, just for next year. But, you know, that was then, and this is now. Like, I've started realizing, like, the biggest need that we have right now is to transition to online teaching, and to not stress the freak out, okay? Because we don't have the mental energy to stress out right now. Like, our families need us, and, like, if we're super stressed, like, right now, I am so stressed that, like, starting on, like, Monday or Tuesday, I am just going to start, like, de-stressing and decompressing and, like, doing yoga online and stuff, because I cannot run like this. I mean, I am taking care because like I have this delicious ginger ale that I ordered myself. It's like this cold pressed ginger ale from Seattle. So, you know, at least I'm taking care of business with the ginger ale and the face products. But like, you know, we need to be doing that, okay? You need to be drinking fancy ginger ale and soaking in a hot bath and putting on face products. Apparently California, I use these face products from California, and they're all organic and everything because I live in Oregon and I'm a hippie. But like, California has declared facial products to be a like essential business. I got an email from my face product people, and so I was like, okay, I'm ordering some more face products because, you know, what do I have to do right now? Just moisturize my face. Like, plus my hands are getting all cracked because I've been washing them so much. Anyways, I was talking to Caitlin about this thing that she developed, and then I kind of like took it and started working with it and like developing it more. And I was telling her like this, it's like a test, you know, everything's a test, right? But it's like this book right here says, you should order this book. This book is like helping me stay sane. The obstacle is the way. Actually, I'm just going to read from this book. The Timeless Art of Turning Trials into Triumphs. It's all based on Marcus Aurelius, the last of the 5 good emperors in ancient Rome. And this is what he wrote back in, like, the day. And I mean, it was a long time ago, so it was, like, the morning of the day. Like, this is, like, back in the day before the day even, like, dawned. It was, like, pre-dawn day. He said this. Our actions may be impeded, but there is no impeding our intentions or dispositions because we can accommodate and adapt. The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. So we have a really great opportunity right now because like everything that we thought was up is now down, and everything that we thought is strong is now weak. And like everything we thought was out there is actually like has to be in here now. And so we have this huge challenge. And when you're stressed like this, like when the system is stressed, like I'm thinking of like the ecosystem of CI, when the ecosystem or like the nation or the town or the neighborhood or whatever, the family unit gets stressed, what happens? All the like cracks open up and you see the weaknesses. And that's probably what this, dude Marcus here was talking about, because it's like when you have this obstacle and then you have to like confront your own weaknesses, like that is how we become better people. And so like thinking about, our community, this is kind of exposing, I think, like a weakness that I have seen for a long time, and I've been like trying to, help people individually, but I just really want to like us to take this opportunity and like get stronger, not just to like survive right now, but like to learn something this weekend and learn something like as we teach online that's going to like help us all like kind of go to this next place where we're like not stressed out and we know where we're going. And I was telling Caitlin yesterday about that. I talked to her for like 2 hours. But I mean, I'm so bored and lonely, right? So I was like, Caitlin. But I was telling her that like if I still taught language arts and this happened, the first thing I would do would be to like turn to the community of people that use Lucy Calkins' work and the Teachers College like materials and systems, and at least we could all collaborate on the same plane, on the same like playing field, like on the same planet, like I feel like we all have all these different like ways that we conceptualize our CI teaching, and that is the number one question that people ask. That's the number one like problem and thing that people talk about is like, I don't really know how to like organize my year. I don't know kind of like where's the destination, where are we going? So just as like in the future, like forevermore, it would be fantastic if we could have that strength that I always had with Teachers College. Like once you learn their frameworks and their systems, you don't only get stronger like on your own, but like you've got this like very robust community of people that understand language arts teaching the same way that you do. And like we just haven't like gotten to that point yet. And I'm not saying that like Tina Harganen's framework is the best framework in the whole entire universe, because like I mean, it's pretty good, but like the idea is that you have a framework, and it's not like every single body that ever learns Teachers College stuff like implements it the same exact way, but it does give everybody a shared framework in which to like talk about their practice, right? So you'd be like, well, I mean, I don't do the teaching share that way. I do the teaching share this way. But when you can say the word teaching share, we all know what that means. Like I know exactly what that means. I've done a billion teaching shares. Or a mid-workshop interruption. Like if somebody's telling me that they had to drop the mid-workshop interruption because they had a whole bunch of weird schedules in a row and like they always had these assemblies and they're all mad, like I can help them problem solve because I know what is missing when they don't have time for the mid-workshop interruption. And I can be like, well, maybe in the like release part of the mini lesson, you could like tell them to look for something in their partner's notebook instead of doing the mid-workshop interruption, if that's taking that like 5 or 6 minutes that you just don't have anymore. So that's what I want for us. Like it's what I've wanted for us for a long time. And I'm not exactly like seizing on the tragedy to like get you to use my framework, because guess what, it's freaking free. You can learn it on your own. I'm not like selling you anything except simplicity and freedom from stressing out and not knowing where you're going, especially now. I just hate it that we like get marketed and sold to so much that when like somebody comes along with like a very pure intention, people will be like, well, she's just selling that snake oil. That's not what I'm doing. I tell people this all the time. If I had been like walking down the street and I saw and like wondering like, how should I teach French with CI? And I looked down in like the gutter and like I saw like my own work sitting down there with somebody else's name on it, and I picked it up and read it, I would have been like, oh, this is exactly what I need. And you know what? I would probably still be going live on Facebook if other people didn't know about it. Because you know what? That's what I did with Lucy Calkins' framework when I learned about it. The reason that I actually started getting into the like training business back in 2011 was to bring to Portland, Oregon, and Gresham and Park Rose and all the districts around here that would like come and listen to me in the summer, to bring Lucy's framework back to them, because she transformed my teaching. So it's not like, oh, I'm so smart, I want everybody to use my framework because my name's on it and I'm amazing. It's not that. And it's not like, oh, I want to like make a lot of money and blah, blah. I mean, of course, like I want to make a living and stuff like that. And if you want to like buy more stuff so you can learn about it more, that's fine. But what I want you to have right now is like absolutely freaking free. And all it's going to take is a little bit of commitment on your part to retool and rebuild what you've already done. So like, that's my diagnosis as a very engaged observer of our like movement or community since a long time back. And also like even back in those days, I was very like analytical about what I could see going on, and like the different businesses and companies and approaches that started to like develop and stuff. And like, I was analyzing and I was always trying to figure out like, oh wait, because I could see like everybody's building like their own silo. And I don't like to say this because it doesn't sound very collegial or whatever. It sounds like I'm bragging. It sounds like I'm full of myself. And like, Lord knows I've been called that. But I'm like, this is not the time for me to care what people think about me. So I watched this whole, ecosystem get built, and I could see that like I was always looking for like the unifying, field theory. So I was looking for like the Higgs boson of, CI. And then somehow I put the two together and I was like, what Lucy did for language arts is like exactly like Lucy Calkins took language arts from like basal readers and vocab lists and flashcards and the commas unit and diagramming sentences and the Catcher in the Rye unit and like, the Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet unit to basically CI. Like literally Steve Krashen has like spoken at Lucy Calkins, events. One time I was like, wow, Steve, you should go back. And he's like, you do not tell Lucy you want to come back. You wait for Lucy to invite you. And I was like, whoa, okay. Whoa. Oh. Like, you're like my guru. And then like, she's, you say that about her. And I mean, she was always kind of my guru too, but like, okay, I guess I know the hierarchy of my gurus now. But, so what she did was she like took them from like not CI to CI. Language arts. And so like she came up with this like system and framework. And so like if people think of doing like reading workshop and writing workshop, which is basically like the alternative to basal readers and like the Catcher in the Rye unit and the comprehension questions and the vocab lists, then that's what we're doing too, right? So don't we need somebody to come along and be like, like, I think we need a framework. I think we need to take all these great ideas and like have a system that they go in. I was doing a training for a school district recently, and ever since I've like gotten this framework like down to like where I know that it works because I've seen it work in other people's classrooms, I feel like super comfortable like giving it to districts and departments. And so that's basically all I ever teach about anymore, is CI, right? But through the lens of this framework. And I kind of forgot where I was going with that, but I've seen it like it like answers all these questions that people have. And I've seen it like bring people's anxiety down, and I've seen it like bring departments together, and I've seen it like bring grammar folks on board. So I'm proud of it, right? But like it's somehow it actually, it doesn't even seem like it came from me. It's like it just came from somewhere else. It's weird. Sometimes I'll sit down and write something and then I'll read it later. I'm like, where did that come from? So I'm just like, I feel like I'm honestly like just like the messenger. And the message that I have for you right now is like, it's now, if you're not going to like pick up something that makes your life easier now, then, I don't know, like, go and do what you want. But like, I just think it's like time for everybody to just get serious about simplicity. It's like the voluntary simplicity movement in CI. Because you've got bigger fish to fry right now. Like, my crying schedule is pretty full right now. And my sleeping schedule has been pretty low, and I want it to get, a little more robust. At least my ginger ale drinking schedule is on fleek. So, I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do this weekend. And, you're going to hear it first, because I hardly even know, okay? But here's what I've done so far. Before this crisis, I developed this framework. I made Curriculum Club. I've made lots of resources for people in Curriculum Club, and I've done a lot of the components online at this point. I'm no kind of expert. I'm not no kind of expert in online teaching. Yesterday, my husband showed me this thing off of social media, and it was like this person's text, and it was like, I'm so sick of this quarantine, like the vegetable and adolescence. I'm so sick of this quarantine. I was like, that guy is from southern Georgia. Actually, don't say southern Georgia. It's South Georgia and southern Oregon. But anyway, I ain't no kind of curriculum expert, all right? But, I would say I'm probably a curriculum expert. I've been very avidly studying curriculum my entire life, even since a little girl. When I realized there was this thing that, the teachers were using, and they weren't just, making it up. I was like, ooh, somebody is giving us this really crappy curriculum that's really boring. What if it was more interesting? So what I've done is, I studied curriculum a long time. I developed this framework. I started Curriculum Club, and then I've used several of the components online. Some more than others. Shared writing, I pretty much do every week when I do coaching. We always do shared writing online on a video to process in English. Our professional insights from the week or whatever. And I've also recently really in these webinars, I've kind of shifted because I didn't think about the fact that I really need to learn how to teach online real quick, just like everybody else. And so I've been trying other things online, trying guided input online, and trying some oral review online, trying all kinds of things. But I'm not going to promise I got it all figured out. But what I do have figured out is that if you start with a framework, you're starting from a place, not just your own brain, not just your own crazy sense of overwhelm, but you're starting from a place. And wouldn't you rather start from a place than not starting from a place? That's just what I think, but maybe you don't see it that way. But I do. So, I developed all this stuff, and then last night, when I finally was oh my gosh, I've been running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to dismantle summer institutes and everything else, and change every single thing that I'm doing, and try to help other people who are totally out of work, and it's been insane. But last night, when I was speaking with my dear friend Caitlin, who sent me this card right here, check it out. I just keep it right up here. I was kind of well, this virus hit, so I could probably use a nice card above my head while I'm sitting here day after day in this very chair right here. And my butt is fusing to this chair. But anyways, last night I kind of realized okay, this is the weekend. People are going back to school, people getting off spring break. This is when the poo-poo is hitting the fan. And people are maybe a week into teaching online, and they're wait a sec, I don't know what I'm doing. Or maybe they're starting back teaching online, and they're wait a sec, I don't know what I'm doing. Or maybe they're never going to have to teach online, and they're still oh, wait a sec, I don't know what I'm doing, because you know what? That, I'm telling you, it was always the commonest problem in any Q&A session, or any training, or any, or anything. Everybody's just already hella confused. And then now we got all this on top of us. So I was okay, last night, last freaking night, okay, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I was oh, okay, I'm going to plan something for this weekend, and I'm going to make it really simple, and I'm going to help teachers to plan 5 lessons that then you can go and basically duplicate them and just insert new content. And then the thing is that basically each lesson is already a duplicate of the one that came before, because it's based on a framework. And so it's we're going to learn one lesson, and then we're going to do it again, we're going to do it again, we're going to do it again, we're going to do it again. I made you guys 5 templates. And this is using the framework's mine, the idea on how to like roll, whatever. It's like a Tina Caitlin collaboration project. It's like a little Tina Caitlin stew here. But we're gonna plan one lesson, and I'm gonna show you some tools. And I'm like, this isn't the place. These Facebook Lives are not the place to like learn how to use this stuff. Okay, so when I get off of this in like 6 minutes, I am not staying on this Facebook Live any longer than 6 more minutes because I got got things to do. I have some poo-poo crap I'll let you do. In real life, I kind of actually have quite a mouth on me, so sorry, people. I've been sitting at home in my PJs for like 2 weeks, so, you know, my mouth is just acting up. But I'm going to go and record like short little videos, okay? And the video is literally going to be like, go use this resource, do this, go find this, and then like go find a topic that you want to teach about. You could get a video, you could record a video, whatever. It could be a picture, and I'll put some resources in there that you can kind of like pirate and use. But I'm not like giving you the topics. I don't know what topics you want to teach about. And I don't like curriculum like that anyway. I don't like curriculum that like tells me what to do. It's not sustainable for the rest of your career. If you're relying on other people to do the heavy lifting and you don't know how to plan your own curriculum, you're going to get bored. And then you're going to have to go buy more curriculum, learn how to do that because you're going to be bored. Your kid's going to be bored. Something new is going to come out. I never shopped for curriculum as a language arts teacher. I could make it in my sleep. And that's what I want for you guys. And I was real happy with my curriculum. It was really fun. It was very, very creative and very satisfying. So I'm going to go and make these 3 Google Classrooms, okay? And I've already made like 3 Google folders that are inside this big, huge folder that says, abandon stress, all ye who enter here. That's the name of like the big folder. Then inside the big folder, there's 3 kind of other big folders that are about the 3 situations that I think most of us could be in. One is like, I have to teach with a packet. So I have to put together this packet. How do I make a packet? The second one is like, I have to teach online classes in person. Like, not in person because they're online, but like in vivo, like live. The third one's like, I have to teach like asynchronous courses. So I have to like record myself or find some videos or I don't know how to do this. And then, so I made 3 Google Classrooms that have those 3 names. And I made 3 Google folders that also have those 3 names. The Google folders are where the Google Classroom stuff is going to come from. So you don't have to go into the Google folders and be like, what am I looking at? Because that's probably how you're going to feel. But while you're waiting on me to finish up this stuff in the Google Classroom, which I'm about to buckle down and freaking do in 4 more minutes, you can look around and, you know, start thinking about it. So in each Google Classroom, I'm going to put 4 to 5 like lessons. There's already 1 lesson in there, so it's like, hey, welcome, say hello. But the other, and thank God for ConvertKit because it has like automated email sequences. So like if you use that link to sign up for the email sequence, you'll start getting the email sequence with all the links, and I don't have to be like, oh, who signed up in the last hour? I need to email them. Okay, so it's like all automated, and you should be getting these links automatically. Because you can just set up sequences that like go out. Like that's why you have to sign up. You have to sign up so that you're on this form. So even if you're already subscribed to like my newsletter and you get newsletters from me, like you still need to go sign up for this form. It doesn't mean you're gonna get like 2 newsletters. ConvertKit's really good. It like segments you out, and like you're only it promises, like it literally promises that they're like your subscribers will never be annoyed because they're only ever gonna get 1 email. Like they scrub the email before it goes out, and like you only get 1. So don't worry if you're already on my email list that you're like signing up to hear like even more from the loquacious Tina. But I'm going to, so if you sign up for that, you'll get the links to the Google Classroom, and then that's all you need, okay? Then I'm going to probably mostly quit sending things out through ConvertKit, and I'm going to send them out through the Google Classroom. And in the Google Classroom, I'm going to put 4 to 5 like lessons. So they're going to be probably about like a 20-minute video. And that means you probably are like, but each like lesson is probably going to take you about an hour. So that's why I said, give me 4 hours and I'll attempt to get, that felt really bold. I was like, can I really say give me 4 hours and I'll give you your life back? Like, ooh, goodness, boy, Tina, that's a bold claim. So we'll see. but I think we can do it because, like, I couldn't make that claim if I didn't have, like, a system to back me up with. I mean, I don't have to reinvent anything. All I have to do is, like, get it out to you and teach you how to do it. And so basically what you're going to do is in the Google Classroom, you'll get all these templates that I got up at, like, 3:45 this morning and made for you. And they're in German, French, and Spanish. If you teach another language, I'm sorry, you're going to need to use the templates that I made for you in Canva. So you could do something right now while you're waiting on me to, like, pump this out for you. You could go onto Canva and get the educator plan. I think it's free, but I don't know if it's immediate. So you probably do want the professional plan. So if I don't have the educator plan, I have the pro plan because I'm not in the classroom anymore. And I didn't even know the educator plan existed because I could have had it, like, for years, but I just didn't. You're going to need the pro plan because the pro plan has a bunch more, like, graphics and stuff. And so, like, I think probably some of the graphics that I use in the template, if you teach French or Spanish or German, like, you really don't have to worry about this. But if you teach another language and you want to translate the materials, the little icons and things that I've already made, you are going to need it. And there are some other things that I'm giving you the templates for in Canva so that you can make cute things to cheer you up. You know, so I made, like, a template for, like, how to make a reading. And it's, like, beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So all you have to do is, like, find the reading and then, like, modify it. And then slot it into these, like, 3 different levels, and then you got your reading. There's not that many tools that I'm using, okay, because this is all about simple. Like, I'm using Google Classroom to get the information out to you, and you could also use Google Classroom to organize your stuff. If you have to use some other thing, like if you literally have to use some other thing because you're being required to, that's fine. But if you don't, I would really urge you, if you are doing things with technology with your kids, to use Google Forms, Google Sheets, Google Classrooms, and Google Docs, because that's what I am using to make these. And they're free and they're accessible to everybody, and they're pretty easy to use. And Canva. And there's another program that you might want to go ahead and get an account for. It's called Miro.com, M-I-R-O. And Miro.com is a way, like, I did a lot of research this morning. So this is new for me, all right? So but this is the tool that if I had to do this, I would, like, be trying to learn this tool. You can put in a reading. If I could show you my screen, I will in the videos that I'm about to go make. But, like, you can put in a reading. And so this is, like, pretty much the only other, like, technology integration besides, like, Zoom. Now, if you have to use something else, you know, that's fine. But I wouldn't go get all wiggy with this and start, like, looking at Screencastify and stuff like that, like, if you don't have to. There is no need to use anything but Zoom. It is free for you right now. It has a ton of functionality. It will do everything that you need it to do, okay? You are not going into the lab and, like, doing chemical reactions so that you need some kind of fancy thing. And if I was going to go into the lab and do chemical reactions, you know what I would use? Zoom. So you don't need any other tools, okay? Like, overwhelm is your enemy right now. And, like, simplicity is your best friend. And it always is. It really is. It's like your brain's best friend. So, I'm 2 minutes late. But I started this out telling you that I was going to do this little experiment with you. And then I got off on a, like, crying jag about simplicity. But that was my message anyway. So, whatever. It all worked out. So, here's the exercise that I want you to do. Some people are like, framework. Doing the same thing, like, every day and just, like, tweaking the content. I don't know. That sounds, like, really boring. I like to be creative. I'm a special genius. I'm a special unicorn. I like to be my own person. Look, I'm, like, the most rebellious person, and I don't like anybody to tell me what to do, and I'm actually, like, hella creative. So if I found freedom, creativity, peace, and, like, professional satisfaction in a framework that I literally, from Lucy, that I literally, like, every day I'm just, like, thanking my lucky stars that I had because it made me into the teacher that I am today. If I can do it, you can too, okay? Like, I am just all over the map and I'm insane. And I was driving myself insane my first year of teaching. If I hadn't found Lucy, I would have probably, like, quit teaching. If I can do it, so can you, okay? It's a mind shift and it takes trust. Like, in what I'm telling you. Some lady on the internet is telling you that, like, this framework's going to save your life. Well, believe me or not, it's up to you. But what else do you got going on right now? So, um, actually, recently, I read this thing that said that when we have constraints on our creativity, such as a framework or a deadline, or like we're working for like a client, you know, in the design firm, and we have to like, you know, comply with the client's specifications, it actually makes us more creative. And I found that too when I was using Lucy's stuff. And I found that too for myself using the stuff that I've developed and for the people that I've been working with in person and online through Curriculum Club and stuff like that. So just to prove it, let's do a little exercise. So instead of like writing into the chat what my situation is blah, 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 and like having all the words in the world, I want you to use 7 words. And the first word has to be the same first letter as the first letter of your middle name. If you don't have a middle name, you're going to use your last name. So I forgot how many letters I said. I think 7. So you have, if I didn't say 7, you have 7 now. So you have 7. I'm going to just remember it. My brain is like dying. You have 7 letters and 7 words. And the first word needs to start with the first letter of your middle name or your last name if you don't have a middle name. And in those 7 letters, you're going to say, what has been the best thing that has happened to you since we encountered this obstacle? What is the way, because like the obstacle is the way, right? What is the way that this has like already like shown you that like out of this horrible thing that's happening, we could actually come out stronger? But you only have 7 words to say it. And the first word has to be start with the first letter of your middle name. Okay, go. I will just read them as they come in. Okay, I'm going to say it again. You're going to say the best thing that's happened since we like had this crisis hit. Like, how has it changed you and made you stronger? So you're going to think about that. How have I been changed? How have I been made stronger? How's like adversity, you know, my obstacles are making me stronger. But you have to do it in 7 words. And the first word has to start with the first letter of your middle name. So my middle name's Suzanne. So I would have the first letter starting with an S, and then I have, or the first word is going to start with an S, and then I have 6 more words to go to say what has actually been an upside to like my teaching from this crisis. Counting my blessings and learning this system, liking my time alone more and more. I'm going to cry. These are beautiful. Eventually learning some new skills for teaching, just not having to wake up early, caring problem solvers or being listened to, spending time with my family and rest. Time to actually catch up. Oh, yes, Sandra Lee. Eventually learning some new skills for teaching. Very excited for new ways to teach. Jumping to new but safe things. I like that, Xander. Yay. That was your 7th word. Eventually, okay, see what else. Moving to Google Classroom has been life-changing. Oh, Chrissy, you cheated because that life-changing has a like a T in the middle there. Morphed my ability to be more flexible, learning how to use technology many ways, moving my mindset towards what really matters. Outside the box, teaching with creativity, many gentle moments of quiet, creative, and whoa, Deborah, that's deep. Learning simplicity from other great teachers daily. E-learning helped me to learn to be flexible. MB Travels. Every time I see your name on Facebook, I think about like standing outside with Skip under that tree and sitting on those stumps in Maine. That was a really good time. Just getting back in touch with relatives. Love having the time to create videos and content. Yeah, me too. Caring about my teaching without schedules. Apathy is the enemy of our happiness. Many people sharing new ideas and technology. Awesome connections with family and colleagues. Rest. Determined to be kind and listen more. Faith in staff, students, families, and Tina all. My strength to use tech and adapt. Getting to slow down. Definitely have more time planning with colleagues, taking a deep breath and welcome change, joining groups and learning many new skills. Love time at home for self-care. Janet, I highly recommend the Evan Healy skin products. They're great. Okay, 2 more. Acquiring new tech skills while missing students. That is true. and being forced to see what's really important. Ooh, Karina, that was a good way to end. All right, well, I'm 7 minutes over time, and I got a lot to do. So if you haven't already signed up for the like automated sequence, I put the link in the top of this Google or Facebook Live thingy. And I'll try again with Zoom next time because it's so much better. I could actually like walk you through some of these things, but that's okay because I'm going to go just use Zoom and make videos that then I upload to the Google Classroom, and so then I don't have to worry about like the cloud playing with the other parts of the cloud. You can never trust technology, okay? That's why simplicity is going to be your best friend right now and every day of your life. Because look what you guys did when you had all those constraints on you. It makes you use your brain in a different way. So you're going to come out of this a lot stronger. I'm just going to read you this thing from Marcus Aurelius one more time because this is the only page I've read, so I don't have time to read this book. This is all I needed. Thanks, Marcus. Our actions may be impeded, but there can be no impeding our intentions or dispositions. Because we can accommodate and adapt. The mind adapts and converts to its own purposes the obstacle to our acting. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Okay. So I'm going to go back to work, and in about an hour and a half, you should probably see your Google Classroom videos up there for you. You probably just want to join one. You don't need to be learning all 3 things right now. They'll still be there when, the world get back to normal. Okay, take care.